Hi, welcome to day 2 of this Pilates challenge. Today we are going to work with the flex band. If you don't have a flex band, you can use the belt of a robe or you can use leggings, anything with a little stretch that's pretty long, okay? When we're doing this challenge, it's for all levels, but I want to make sure that if you're new to Pilates, I don't want you to get overwhelmed with the cues that I use. With Pilates, it's all about consistency and developing awareness of your body and strength of your body, which takes a while. And sometimes it can be years. So if there's cues that I'm using that you just don't feel yet, that's fine. The ultimate goal is just to keep moving and get used to these movement patterns, okay? And it will come in time, and you can do this challenge as many times as you want. Today with the flex band, we're going to really work deep into our ab muscles, and we're going to work on a stable pelvis, okay? So let's get started. So we're going to start seated upright, and I want you to take the band around the balls of your feet, and your legs are going to be together. They're also going to be bent, but I don't want them too close to you. So you do want some distance of your feet away from your body. And I want you to try to really get yourself up nice and tall so you're right on top of your sitting bones. You're going to grab hold of the band in between your index finger and your thumb, just so that your hands can be open and they can kind of stay together so your wrists can stay in alignment. All right, pull your elbows in towards your sides. And as you sit up tall, look straight forward and take some breaths. And so I want to kind of continue on to yesterday's workout where we really focused on our breath. Instead of focusing on the breath coming from your nose when you inhale, see if you can really inhale from your center. All right, so as you're here, you're inhaling and you're expanding those ribs, but it's initiating from your center. And you're going to exhale from your center. And see if that allows you to get a little bit deeper in your breath. And as you're sitting here breathing, notice your pelvis. Your pelvis is upright. The hip bones are right above your butt bones. Okay, that's in alignment. And we're going to really work into this idea of a stable pelvis, because a stable pelvis is necessary for every movement that you do in your life. You want to be aware of where your pelvis is and what it's doing and be in control of it. So attached to your pelvis are your ab muscles. So what I want you to do is you're going to pull the waistband back, the back of your waistband, okay, right there. I want you to pull that back. So on your inhale, we're just going to pull back. And I want you to really initiate from the mid-spine, pulling you back. And notice that's going to pull your pelvis back too. And then on your exhale, keep pulling that waistband back as you just bring your body forward where hips go right over, or shoulders go right over your hips. So we pull back, and they're the muscles right above your hip bones. And notice when you do it, it's muscularly. You're pulling back with your waistband. You're not tucking your pelvis, which is what I quite often see. So if you want to feel the difference of what it feels like to tuck your pelvis, so kind of tuck it under and allow that to initiate you back. All right, and then this time when you go back, I want you to initiate with your mid-spine, the back of your mid-spine, the back of your waistband, really pulling you back, and notice the difference, okay? Do a couple more. And we'll do one more. And now this time I want you to try to go further back. So you're going to go further back again with those correct muscles, right? Squeeze your hips together, push your balls of feet into the band, and really initiate with your mid-spine, pulling you back till you're all the way to your shoulder blades. So as you hit your shoulder blades, get your elbows down, okay? So there should be no tension in your neck. And then as you curl yourself back up, again, pull the waistband back to bring your body forward. As soon as you hit your sitting bones, your shoulders go right over the sitting bones. We're not going forward of that, all right? And then pull back. You'll hit the shoulders, elbows down, and then really working from those mid-abs to take your body up and over. And we'll do that one more time. Pull it back. Hit those shoulder blades. And now we're going to go all the way down. And then just allow those legs to straighten as you push through the band and allow your head to settle, okay? You'll notice where if your head is way back here, maybe put a pillow underneath your head. Maybe plug your spine a little bit if you have too much of an arch of that low back. I've done some videos on that, so you can just click that eye there and learn your alignment. All right, so as we squeeze our heels together, squeeze your hips together, just hold right there and really try to push your feet into the band. And then in opposition, push out of the crown of your head. And notice where your pelvis is, all right? Your pelvis is just heavy there, down on the mat. And then we're just gonna curl the head, neck, and shoulders up, and nothing changes in the pelvis. We're just curling with those upper abs. Look at your toes, all right? Anchor that pelvis, squeeze the hips, reach through those legs, and then allow your body to go back down. All right, do that 2 more times. Curl. Now your upper abs are pulling back. So that waistband is pulling back, right? Even though you're trying to lift your chest. 1 more time. Elbows are down, shoulders are wide. And again, the waistband pulls back, the chest pulls forward. You reach through that band and roll it down. Beautiful job. Let's take our right foot, keep it in the band. Our elbows are down, they're into our sides. The bottom leg is anchored. That foot is flexed, okay? So we're just gonna do nice wide circles, cross over, go out to the side and pack in. And you're gonna do 5 of these. And I want really wide circles, but you're really keeping the anchor of the pelvis, okay? So notice how much range of motion you actually have when you have the support of the band, but we're not rocking and rolling that pelvis, okay? And then we'll go the opposite way. So in order to help that anchor, we got to anchor the opposite leg, right? Push down with the heel and the hamstring. That's going to help anchor your pelvis. When you've done 5 in each way, just push long through that leg until it anchors down and then switch sides. All right. Pull it up, anchor. You don't want to pull it so far up where you lose your anchor. So really just find that place where you can really settle into this. And then 5 giant big circles. My wall's going to get in the way, I think. But your elbows are down. Your chest is wide. Just really anchor the back of the pelvis. When you've done your 5, you'll go the other way. Sometimes you might think that you're stable. So maybe lift your head every once in a while and just make sure you're anchored. And then we'll lower it down. Excellent. And then put both in there again, just to even yourself out. And then we're going to take the band away. All right, and just hold ourselves here. Point through the feet. Take a nice inhale, exhale, flex yourself up as if you had the band. So we're pulling the waistband back as you bring that chest forward. And we're going to pump those arms with the nice long arms. Just breathe in and breathe out. All right, so everything's anchored in that lower half. We're using the upper half to curl up and over, but you don't just want to crunch it in, right? We want to come from that correct place that we worked with the flex band in the beginning when we were pulling your spine back. Think about the muscles right above your hip bones and almost curling from there, right? That mid back spine pulling you up. You take it all the way down. All right, let's bring ourselves all the way up. So just flex your feet, reaching the arms up, pulling yourself all the way up, taking your body up and over. Again, it's just shoulders over those hips, and then pull the back of your waistband back and just pulse it and really hug in that center. Good, hold right here, grab your band. All right, and we're gonna put the band over those feet again, and we'll do our roll-ups with support. So flex your feet, we roll it down, and now we roll it up. pull the back of your waistband, and then keep that sensation as you go over, pull the elbows back, and then stretch it. So the band is here to help us initiate with the correct muscles. We're not letting go, right? We're lifting up and over. We'll do one more with the band, and then we'll take that band away. Feel free to keep using the band if you want. I'm going to let it go. Roll it back and up. Shoulders over hips, pull back with your center. One more, and we'll stay up there. Good, and then just roll it up. All right, so let's bring our legs in. We're gonna do a little rolling like a boss. So we're gonna pull our legs into us, but you want to, again, pull the waistband back, right? But we don't wanna go too far back where we crunch into it. Just pull it back, stay engaged. It's almost like just a little flexion. And then from that waistband, it helps pull you back and up. And now we use our breath, right? Inhale back, exhale up. Same breath as we worked yesterday. 2 more. When we're gonna go back, you're gonna keep your chest up. So pull back, our chest is up, right? We're pulling the back of our spine to help curl us up, and we pull. Now I want you to remember this move because we're gonna do this move standing at the end. This is our single leg stretch. So we're pulling one leg in as the other leg reaches away. 2 more. Good, and we're gonna go right into our double leg. We reach, we wrap it in. Inhale, exhale. So where are you flexing from, right? And we'll go right into our crisscross here, over. Good. 4 more for 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Go ahead, hug it in. Take those legs and come on up into our spine stretch forward. But we're gonna do not as wide as yesterday, just as wide as your hips. And we'll take that band and we'll place it over our feet again. All right, and then hold yourself up nice and tall. I want you to cross the band, all right? So as we're hanging out here, the band is great because it makes us work into our hips. So notice if you're sitting here, right? We're sitting up, and sit up as tall as you can. What happens if you pull on that band and get the seat involved a little bit? You're gonna get more lift. I want that. Let it go. And then pull out in that band a little bit from the hips and sit up tall. Good, one more time. And pull up, lift. Now keep that lift as we pull the band back with our elbows, and then just dive it. We're pulling back from the waistband, but we're trying to stay tall. And then come back up. So see if you can create this C curve. That's what we're doing. But see if you can keep your height. So what I mean by that is, see how tall you are? Can you curl and try to get taller, even though you're creating that C curve? What does that do for you to keep the height? Do you feel it working right into that center? It's very minute detail. So if it's too much for you to think of it now, if you're a beginner, just curl it right now. But if you've been doing Pilates for a while and you can really get into those details, this is how we challenge ourselves as we get more advanced. Good, all right. So now we're gonna keep that cross, all right? You can walk forward a little bit here. And then we're gonna pull our elbows back. We're gonna stay super tall. And then we're gonna curl ourselves back. And what I want you to do is keep pulling out on that band, but pulling back with those mid muscles. All right, you have it. So now you have to have your hips involved, even though you're working from that belly. And then we're gonna dive it up and over. Try not to let your legs scoot forward. And then we roll it back up through the spine. Again, we curl it back, stay tall. Like we did our spine stretch forward, you're still pulling back, but you're trying to create that length in your spine. We dive it over, up and over. Anchor those legs. You gotta use your seat and hips and come up one more time. We curl it back, that C curve. And then we come up and over, right over that pelvis. You gotta use your hips to keep the pelvis stable. And then we roll it back up. Good job. All right, shake that out a little bit and we're gonna turn it to our stomach. Take your hands by your sides, anchor your legs, anchor your pubic bone. All right, so now pulling those abs in right behind your waistband, your mid-spine. All right, you're gonna keep that in even though you're anchoring the pubic bone. And then from that center, reach it long, pull up and into you. And notice how that starts to lift you up. And then lead with the chest. Yeah, and then lower down. Try it again, right when we did in the beginning with the band. You're pulling back from those muscles. They start to lift you, so your mid-back lifts, and then you push through the chest. Try a couple here. Legs are anchored, pubic bone anchored. We'll do 2 more. And exhale down. If you're breathing into those lower ribs, that will help you too, just like we did yesterday. And then we lower down. Good. All right, come to the hands, forehead, hold right here. Now we're gonna lift the arms and legs. We're gonna lift and lower. Inhale up. Exhale down. Let's hold it up this time. Now, as you're here, right, you have your center super engaged and you're gonna breathe like you did yesterday. And notice when you breathe, naturally, your body's gonna rock if you're connected. Back body is super engaged. And then we lower it down. Give yourself a little scoot back, just a little stretch here. Good. And then let's come up onto our elbows here, all right? And then your legs are long. And you're gonna draw that center in, draw it in, and lead with the chest, right? So I'm pulling that waistband into my spine, all right? And pulling up from my spine, my mid-spine, and then the chest presses forward. Pull your heel to your seat, 1, 2. Other side, 1, 2. Pull, pull. And you're just gonna stay super upright and engaged in that spine. All right, 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful job. Lower yourself down. Give yourself a little stretch again. We're gonna do some side work. Side work is super important and it's really hard to find, especially a stable pelvis, but that's what we're working today. That's center and pelvis. So I want you to line your hips and your shoulders up with the back of your mat. And then you take your legs to the front of your mat, maybe even a little further than the front of your mat. All right, and then really stay lined up, hips to shoulders. Okay, so as we're here, I want you to draw that same area that we did in the band with the band rolling back. Pull that back into you. All right, and really stay connected as we anchor the bottom leg and lift the top. And then all I want you to do is bring one leg forward and back. And as the leg goes forward and back, you're just keeping that center engaged. And that's going to help keep our pelvis where it is, okay? So we don't want to move the leg so much that we move all that, right? It's really easy to do. What does it feel like to stay super connected from that center? And you might start to get other muscles involved, especially when you go back, you're going to feel that back body. And if you are pulling from that right place, you're not going to arch your spine, you're not going to strain your back, which can happen a lot when we move and exercise if we're not keeping our pelvis stable. Good. All right. Then let's go heel on heel. We're going to pull up, we're going to flex down. Now, if I lift this leg too much, I collapse and I lose my center and I lose my pelvic alignment. So it's more about strength than flexibility here. Pull that bottom leg down to lift the top leg. 2 more. Good. And then we're going to go about hip height. You're going to press it back behind you. All right. And then give little circles. Again, what's your center doing? Good. Stay centered, keep the breath going. The rest of the body almost falls in place. Good. We come up. Just give yourself a little stretch till we go to the other side. Okay. Line up, shoulder to hip. All right, and then take your legs to the front corner. Find yourself lined up. Take the time to line up, okay? Sometimes I have to feel, make sure I'm lined. And then use your breath, center. And when you feel like you're connected, then you lift up and we go forward and back with our leg. Don't concentrate too much on the forward and back, more on, are you staying stable in your center body? Anchor that front leg too, that will help. And the more that you can connect to the center, the more you're going to build a really strong foundation where when the moves get a little bit more challenging, the pace gets faster, you then have that connection to support you. Beautiful. We're going to go up and down. And again, remember, it's more about strength and stability. This pelvis likes to rock back. Anchor that bottom leg to lift the top. 2 more. And then we're going to lift it up hip height. You take it back and you're working your back body. So put back as far as you can, as long as you're connected here. And then it's quick little circles. And those circles are trying to challenge your center, trying to get you out of it, but you're not going to let that happen. 5 the other way. Beautiful. All right, and then we bring it in and we take it over. Good. All right, so these are only, I'm trying to stay at the 20-minute mark as I promised. It's hard to do, but hopefully I think that's where I am right now. We're going to do some standing work. So I want you to come up to the balls of your feet. Your heels will press down. So doing sort of a challenge every day. We're going to try to mix it up every day with different lessons and stuff. So hopefully this lesson made sense to you. Really, it was just about centering your body and what that really means with the stable pelvis and working that long C curve. All right, so now we're going to lower the heels, connect them, and allow your head to drop. We're going to come to a standing position. So just use your center. You roll up from there. So pulling that mid spine back to help lift you up. So now you're at the edge of your mat. We're standing. So with the heels and like a slight distance between your big toe knuckles, it's not a turnout. It's just enough where we can keep sort of our thighs in alignment. I want you to reach your arms upward towards the ceiling. And as we're here, you're pulling that center in, right at that mid spine, a couple inches above your hip bones, pulling back. All right, and we want to keep that engaged as we circle the arms around. Start to bring the chin to the chest, but we don't lose that centering. That centering is pulling you up, just like when we were doing the roll up. So you don't want your hips to sink back as you're going down. You want to keep your hips where they are, and you're using your body to roll you down. And then we start to roll it up using the center. So just like when we were doing our roll up, same idea when you're going over your legs. Your legs are stable. So you got to use your center here. Squeeze the hips together. Dive it down and roll it up. So it's a full body movement. You can even practice against a wall, just about a hand's distance, a palm's distance in back of you. And when you roll down, you do not let your butt touch that wall, okay? You go down and you keep your butt away from the wall as you come up. Good job. And then circle those arms around. From here, we're going to just do little genie arms here. And remember, I said we're going to do the standing single leg stretch. We're going to do that right now. You're going to pull one leg up into your chest, and you want to be careful you don't hike your hip. All right. We want to keep a stable pelvis, right? The other leg is pushing down into the ground, and that's actually more important than the leg that's lifting. So I want you to really anchor that bottom leg as you pull the top, and then switch and do it again. Pull, press the standing leg down. Pull this other leg up without hiking the hip. All right. And we're going to go up to speed with this. Press, push, push. So push that leg down into the ground to support you. Up. Press down, down, down. Good. We can even change the angle of the hips if we want and do a little out. Keep breathing, it's super important. Back to parallel. Push down, down. Now let's go out to sides again. And back to parallel, last 8. Come on, push down to lift up. And good job. And just release it. See how you feel. Deep breath. Awesome. From here, we're going to do one more roll down. We lift up, pull that center in, dive it, keep the center, curl over those legs, drop it down, roll it up, and release. Good job. How do you feel? I hope you feel good. I hope that idea of centering really connected with you today. Take that and the breath and just work on that this challenge, and you're going to develop a lot of strength. So hopefully this was good for you. You learned a little bit more about your body, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Okay.